currently broken up with now. You're remembering a time when you were broken up with and imagining you've now been with your specific person for ages and you're looking back on that time, the time you're actually in now, and seeing it in the past. Does this make sense? That's how you use it. All right, guys, I'm going to do a Loz lesson as suggested in my Subconscious Loz Squad, and it's all about a Neville Goddard teaching, and it is I remember when. Now, so many of you are remembering things wrong or not actually using that technique from Neville the right way, and I will teach you how in this lesson. Now, this could be to do with your specific person, with love, with money, health, your family, friendships, whatever it is. I'm going to teach you how to use I remember when the right way. Now, those of you who are in the squad, you will know that we are dropping They Are Your Puppet October 6th inside, and it's part of your membership. Now, the squad is a lovely, supportive place to be where I go live every Friday to answer your questions directly. There's also Mentor Mondays where the mentors, my most successful and most knowledgeable members of the squad, answer your questions and talk on themes from the Q&A forum that week every Monday. Plus, there is the Q&A forum to ask your questions. Everyone in there is super helpful and super knowledgeable. Those of you who've been there a long time really know how to answer each other's questions. And it's just a really lovely place to be where everyone supports you. We always have activities every single day, feedback, posts, all kinds of things, seeing people's success stories. It's a lovely, supportive place to be. And you get your course as part of it. And the course in October is They Are Your Puppet. Now, if you come and join now, you also get Happily Ever After, my marriage course, which is in there right now. So if you get in now, you'll get that and They Are Your Puppet in October. All right, guys, so let's get to this question, and it's this. Can you do one Loz lesson on I remember when? Neville's teaching for us. You mentioned it in one of your videos and it sounded quite interesting. We all have remembered when thinking all the time. I know it's about changing the story of when something happened. And no, that's not what I remember when. Not really. Kind of, but not really. Okay, so this person's talking about revision, and I remember when is a type of revision. All manifestation is a type of revision, but let me teach you the Neville Goddard way. So, if you remember something, like saying the way you would normally in real life, saying, I remember when they had that job. Yeah, they hated it. I remember that. Or I remember when they used to be really overweight. Look at them now. Or I remember when they were single. Oh my God, look how happily married she is now. I remember her. God, she was single for years. I remember that. That's I remember when. So in real life, you will hear other people do that, or you would have done it yourself, describing something that has changed now, but you're remembering it the old way. And what it is as a technique is it's not like it has already happened. It's like it's going to happen in your reality, but you're talking as if it's already happened. So in the case of me describing someone who was always single and is now married in real life, if you wanted to imagine yourself like we do in Happily Ever After right now, as a person who's happily married now, and that is the purpose of all conscious manifestation, is to imagine it already is done now, you would see yourself as you used to be, the single you, the person who didn't have your specific person back or wasn't engaged or wasn't married. You would look back on yourself as the old you, seeing yourself in your mind's eye as the old you used to be, and then imagine yourself now as the you are now, married, even though really in real life right now you're not actually married. That's the technique of I remember when. So in the same way that someone would remember a friend who's now married as chronically single in the past, you do that for yourself, but you're not married yet, you're just imagining you are, and you're imagining it as if you are now, and you're remembering back to the way you were before you were in the state of married. Does that make sense? So in the Neville Goddard way of teaching this, he talks about a very famous story where his grandfather, was it his grandfather? I think, used that in a technique in Barbados when he would stand on a vacant lot and he was showing his colleagues and the people who work for him this vacant lot, had nothing on it, just a piece of land. And he was using it to imagine the hotel they were going to build on that piece of land, and he stood there in front of nothing and said to the people, I remember when this was a vacant lot. Do you remember it? And now look at it, this beautiful hotel with all the stories and all the people staying here and they're having a lovely time. But I remember when this was just empty. Remember that? The people are like, mate, we're just looking at nothing, right? So he was imagining and picturing a building as if it was already there, even though it wasn't. And standing in a vacant lot as if it was now a hotel. So you are standing in the vacant lot of your singleness, imagining you are now married. You are standing in the vacant lot of your poverty, imagining you now have money. You are standing in the vacant lot of you having no friends, imagining you have a fantastic social life. You're standing in the vacant lot of a third party and you've been broken up with and now you're beautifully back together and third party who? That's I remember when. You can use it like imagining talking to your specific person because they are your puppet and talking to them as if you now have with them what you would want. So you would do it like this. Babe, remember when we had that big fight and we broke up and it was so shit and we didn't speak to each other for months, remember that? Then you imagine him saying back to you, oh, babe, I can't even remember it. I feel like we've been together forever. I can't even remember that. You're like, yeah, I remember you were such an asshole to me. And he's like, oh, babe, I would never be an asshole to you. I love you so much. I missed you. God, I missed you. I cried every night. You're like, oh, did you? Oh, that's nice. Now, when would I use something like that? Either when your relationship isn't exactly how you want it to be right now, or you're currently broken up with and you're remembering it as if you're remembering in the distant past when you've broken up, you're currently broken up with now. You're remembering a time when you were broken up with and imagining you've now been with your specific person for ages and you're looking back on that time, the time you're actually in now, and seeing it in the past. Does this make sense? That's how you use it. I remember when we weren't married. I remember when there was all those people you were dating. Remember all those skanks? I don't know who they were, babe. I don't remember them. I blocked them from my memory. Ew. There's only one girl for me. They fucking better be. You know? You understand? So if you're trying to understand that your specific person has no free will and they're your puppet, when you do imaginings like that or imaginal scenes in your mind or imaginal conversations like I just did then, what you are understanding is that person that you just put in that scene, like your specific person, has no free will but to imagine the way you're imagining because you are the one creating that scene and they can only be as you are. So you are a person imagining you were once broken up with but now you're back together. So they can only be a person in your reality who thinks the same way, which is we are together. Understand? Understand? To see it as if it were here already, even though it wasn't. That is the point of all manifestation, to see in your mind's eye something as if it is already true, and the thing that hasn't yet occurred is in the past. It has occurred now. You have it now. They're here now. You're back together now. You've built the building now. The hotel's there now. You're married now. You're back together now. The third party's gone now. Whatever it is. You understand? So those of you who've never used that technique before, try it. Try it and see if it actually helps you to put something in the past that is currently in your present and imagine the present state to be different than it now is and see it in your past. It's a type of revision, a type of revising. And I use it a lot in my mind, like in the way I just did it then, having a conversation with someone as if we are thinking of the past and the present is different. And we're remembering back to a time. You understand? What is this? Why are people asking me questions while I'm talking? What's the lesson today? Guys, I'm saying, what if he's emotionally unavailable, darling? You've never listened to me in your whole life. I need male validation so badly. You've never listened to me either. What's thought transmission and affirmation? What? Guys, can I recommend those of you who've just asked those 3 questions to go and watch my long ass videos on YouTube, because the fact that you're saying what's thought transmission and affirmation. Thought transmission is just manifestation. It's what you're doing all the time. You're transmitting thoughts all the time. Affirming means saying something is true. That's all it is. And you're seeing them as techniques. And you're understanding that you are saying as true things all the time and transmitting those thoughts to everyone and creating a reality. The person needing constant validation doesn't understand that they think that validation is going to make them feel better and give them the feeling they should be feeling themselves, which is their own validation. What was the other bloody question? Oh, what if he isn't emotionally available? Guys, listen. Whatever you're imagining about them is how they'll be. If you think they're emotionally unavailable, they fucking will be. You need this fucking course when it starts on October 6th. Some of you are painting your specific person with the most inane shit. Oh, they're emotionally unavailable. Love, did you have emotionally unavailable people in your childhood who were never there for you or didn't listen to you or never gave you their emotional state in any way or never showed you their love and never loved you? Oh, yeah, that's why he's not doing it. You just manifested the same reality as an adult. Oh, so is it to do with him or you? What's common denominator here between you and your childhood? Him or you? Oh, me. Guys, it's nothing to do with them. Can you say, I remember when I won the lottery? Absolutely. I was telling the story of how my parents won the lottery to someone the other day and how my dad imagined he'd won it before he won it. So if I tell you that story. So my dad, I should get him on one day. He's in Bali at the moment, but I'll get him on one day and he can explain the story. But basically, he imagined he would win it before he did. And then he did. He just decided he was going to win. So you could say, I remember when I used to be broke. I remember when I wasn't a multimillionaire. I remember when that lottery hadn't even happened. I remember when we used to live in that tiny house and we had no money. I remember when the business was failing and then we poured all that money into it after we won the lottery and now we're like multi-millionaires and now we've got even more money than we had before we won the lottery. I remember when we made those amazing investments with that money from the lottery and now we are multi-millionaires. I remember when that lottery just changed our whole lives. I remember that. Like that. You guys seeing how I'm picturing now something to be true and seeing in the distant past the current, the present. I'm seeing it as it's in the past now. You understand? Those of you who don't understand that technique, do go read Neville's stories about I remember when. Just type in I remember when Neville Goddard and see what comes up. And read the lectures. Don't just go to some Reddit post. Read the lectures about it. Because Neville's lectures are wonderful, guys. And if you haven't actually invested your time in actually studying Neville, you're really missing out. And I don't mean these inane, ridiculous AI versions of Neville, which are not Neville's words and not Neville's voice and not Neville's teachings and nothing to do with fucking Neville Goddard on YouTube right now. If he sounds remotely American, it is not Neville. If it's any video you're seeing lately, it is not Neville. Okay? What's this? Would you ever do those telepathic conversation videos that are for queer couples? I know. We're so far behind with getting more of those telepathic conversations out. It's because the person I do the channel with doesn't put as much work into the channel as me. And so if they don't make those telepathic conversations with me, they kind of don't get done. But what we'll do is we'll get the voiceovers done for the same sex and put those out. How about that? Because there's no point having my voice and my voice. You need my voice and someone else's voice as a girl and his voice and someone else's voice as a guy, yes? You don't want the same voice. It sounds strange. It sounds like you're talking to yourself. That would be weird. So I will do that for thought transmission, I promise. And we also will have that for thought transmission in love, which is my course that was in the squad a couple of months ago and will be coming out on my website soon, on the Thought Transmission website and also on Subconscious Laws. And those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Thought Transmission is my affirmations channel that I started at the beginning of the year. There's 10,000 subscribers over there on YouTube. It's a wonderful, wonderful resource of affirmations, of sleep tapes, of subliminals even now, And also these telepathic conversations between me and the mystery man, back and forth, imagining that you have what you want right now with them. So go over to Thought Transmission. I'll put it here on YouTube when this is on YouTube. Visit that channel. Make sure to subscribe. And we're dropping subliminals every week, telepathic conversations every few weeks, affirmations every few weeks, rampages, and 8-hour sleep tapes. But the subliminals I listen to all the time while I'm working, because you can barely hear the voices and the affirmations. You know what they are, they're in the description, but they're very easy to work to. I work to them all the time. I literally will put them in my ears and say to my team, don't talk to me, because I'm listening while I'm working, because I can't work and hear them talking. All right, guys, are you understanding I remember when? Are you ready for They Are Your Puppet? Are you understanding that no one has any free will in your reality, and you can remember when they used to be a see you next Tuesday and now they're madly in love with you and married to you? If you don't, come and join us October 6th in the squad, or join us now and you'll still get Happily Ever After that's leaving at the end of the month. And in October, you will have They Are Your Puppet. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye, guys.